All right, here we go. This is the PowerPoint that will help you understand where the labels go on the mapping project or the mapping assignment. This will go through the different labels where they belong for the Hebrews and Israelite kingdoms. I like to start every chapter off with geography so we know where in the world this is happening and kind of when in the world this is happening. So this is in the 2000 to 3000 or 2000 to 2500 BC timeline. And what we have here is the Israelites, this star that is for the Israelites, people who follow Judaism or Jewish folks. That's known as the Star of David, which we will learn more about as we go through this chapter. This person here is an illustrated version of the man named Moses, who you have or should be reading about in your chapter. What he's holding are these two stone tablets. Many people know them as the Ten Commandments, and I'm seeing if I can focus mouse. All right, great. Well, that didn't work. So moving on over here. Hey, wait. There we go. So this first blue area is the Mediterranean Sea. This is the same Mediterranean Sea that we have labeled on previous chapters. If this map were to continue off to the left, it would be, a laser pointer. That's good. So if you were going over here, you'd find Egypt on an actual map. But this is the Mediterranean Sea, and this white outlined area is the area that we're going to be focusing on. The first part of the chapter on section 1.1, talks about Abraham's journey from the city or the town of Ur in Mesopotamia, and then he follows a path to this area that we're going to be discussing today. And so let's move on to the next slide. So this first little thing up here is the Sea of Galilee. So, and this is kind of the headwaters or the start of this next feature that we'll be showing. So on your labeling, your drag and drop labeling of the Mediterranean Sea, the Sea of Galilee. Down here, the lower portion or the end is going to be the Dead Sea. The reason this is called the Dead Sea is because there is no outlet. Kind of like Folsom Lake has the outlet by Folsom Dam to go down the American River. But the Dead Sea does not have an outlet. And so what happens is all the water ends up there and all of the minerals are still in the water. It evaporates and becomes super salty. And you can like float very easily. If you've ever been to the Great Salt Lake in Utah, it's kind of the same thing. But that is the Dead Sea. And so the thing that joins them is the Jordan River. And in the people in the Jewish or in Judaism, as well as Christianity, in their writings, you will hear a lot of talk about the Jordan River. Next is the Sinai Desert. So as you're labeling to the left, the Sinai Desert is there. And Phoenicia is north of this region. Now, if you go way back to Mesopotamia, then we'll be talking about Phoenicia, or the Phoenicians were famous for making sailboats. And so they were sailing on the Mediterranean Sea, part of that Fertile Crescent and their trade. Next, we have Canaan, and Canaan represents this entire land. In the Hebrew texts, in the Torah especially, it talks about the land of Canaan, which was told to be a promised land for the Israelites. And then there's this little map dot right here. That is Jerusalem. So Jerusalem is a very important city in many different faiths. It is important in Islam, it is important in Christianity, and it is very important in Judaism, which we will learn about later. So, and then this northern part, which is colored green, is Israel, which they are known for the Israelites. And then the southern kingdom is known as Judah, where we get Judaism or the Jews. So, let's see. So there is a lineage. Abraham was the person who was first promised to go to this promised land of Canaan. He had a son named Isaac. There is a very interesting story about Abraham and Isaac. Isaac had two sons named Jacob and Esau. And Jacob had 12 sons. And one of his sons was named Judah, and the other one was Israel. So these are 12 tribes, or I can't remember if they call it a commonwealth, but the 12 tribes from each of the 12 sons of Jacob, these two are the most prevalent. So you have Israel and Judah. There's a little backstory, and that is the end. So as you go back on to your map matching activity on this, here are your labels. You'll have the Mediterranean Sea. You'll have the Sea of Galilee. You'll have the Dead Sea. You may have heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Sinai Desert in the west. Phoenicia to the north. The Jordan River, which connects the Sea of Galilee, and the Dead Sea. Canaan, which is the whole area that is shaded in both orange and green. Jerusalem is the city map dot. And the northern kingdom is Israel. The southern kingdom is Judah. And there you go. If you have questions, please email or attach a private comment to this assignment. Thanks.